Welcome, everyone. My name is Christy Francis, and I'm a career counselor at Hamline University. Today I'm joined by Carlie Donley, who is an accounts manager at Robert Half. She has nearly 10 years of experience in leadership and management and has been at Robert Half for the past 4 years, currently managing a team of recruiters. She also has a master's degree in human resource management. So Carlie, thank you for joining us today. I'm going to pass the ball off to you so you can begin your presentation.
Great. Thank you so much, Chrissy. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar today. Regardless of where you are professionally, it's never too late or too early to develop your leadership abilities. With the right approach, you can improve your effectiveness on the job and enhance your career prospects. True leadership goes beyond assigning work to others. It involves inspiring and motivating employees to achieve their potential. Today, I will give you an overview of how you can accomplish this objective. I will discuss the skills essential for becoming an effective leader, and I will also review specific actions you can position yourself as a leader within your organization. So I'm Carlie Donley. I work for Robert Half, and we'll begin the presentation now. So what skills are needed to become an effective leader? They include communication, interpersonal, decision-making, negotiation, delegation, and personnel management. Let's take a look at each of these abilities. The first essential skill is communication. The way you share information with employees and address their concerns can be an important factor in keeping them motivated and productive. If you're behind closed doors all the time and are slow to respond to messages from your staff, you may be seen as unavailable and therefore unsupportive. Do your best to be responsive to your employees. Take time to listen. Be fair, open-minded, and focused when meeting with everyone on your team, not just your star performers. You never know who is going to have insights that benefit your department or your company. Establish open lines of communication by scheduling one-on-one and team meetings. You'll give everyone the chance to share their ideas and play a role in business decisions. When an employee has a good suggestion, act on it. You'll show that their value they're available to the team's input. Do your best to keep employees informed. Let them know about the important company news and changes. Even if you don't have all the details, share what you can and provide updates as additional information becomes available. The more your employees are informed, the less anxious they are about major developments. When assigning new projects, explain to your staff how work ties into larger company goals. They will feel more connected to their assignments if they understand the big picture. For instance, if you're tasking accounting staff to help with a potential acquisition, explain why the deal would be part of a broader expansion and initiative at the company. Effective communication goes beyond everyday discussions with staff. You also need to convey information in a formal context when writing or presenting. Before you start preparing a memo, report, or presentation, you should have a clear idea of your objective. Do you want to inform, create a call to action? Consider using a formal outline or listing the main points to help you prepare your message. Let people know up front what the topics you're addressing are and why it's important to them. You want to capture your audience's attention immediately so they will continue reading or listening to your message. Tailor your message to the audience. It's generally best to avoid complex financial terminology or acronyms unless you're certain others will understand their meaning. Finally, don't underestimate the importance of enthusiasm. Good communicators are passionate about what they are saying or writing. If you're genuinely excited about a subject, people are likely to take note and want to hear more. As a leader, you also need to have excellent soft skills, including outstanding communication skills and the ability to resolve problems. A recent survey by our company shows these traits can be critical in landing a supervisory position. Chief financial officers were asked, Which single factor weighs most heavily in your decision to hire an executive-level job candidate? The top response was a tie. Verbal communication skills and problem-solving abilities each got 34% of the vote. Those with strong interpersonal skills understand the importance of making the extra effort. They aren't limited to the boundaries of a job description and go above and beyond what is expected. So if someone seeks your assistance, always consider how you might be able to help, whether it's through direct involvement or providing a referral. Also avoid prejudging others. If your mindset is that certain people won't say anything interesting or relevant, you're likely to tune them out and miss the critical information or ideas. You also may alienate others who recognize your indifference to what others are sharing. Networking at events is one of those things that can be very valuable to enhance your interpersonal skills. You'll have the opportunity to practice initiating and maintaining conversations with new contacts while building relationships outside of the office. As a leader, you also need direct decision-making ability. While this may sound simple on the surface, not everyone is skilled in this area. Sometimes managers slow down the workflow through indecisiveness. At the other extreme, they may make snap decisions and develop a reputation for being arbitrary and impetuous. To find the right balance, you need to be diligent about gathering the facts and soliciting input from staff. Then after you've thought things through, don't procrastinate, make a decision. When a decision is successful, share the credit with those on your team who played a role. Take responsibility for actions when the outcomes are less than favorable. Be open in situations when they both worked out and didn't work out, so that everyone can learn from the experience. Another valuable leadership skill is the ability to negotiate. Whether your goal is to receive approval on a deal with a lender or to divide responsibilities on a project team, knowing how to negotiate can help improve your chances for success. In fact, your power of persuasion is one of the most valuable skills you can possess in business. Presenting your case professionally will not only help you achieve your objectives, but it can also allow you to highlight ideas or suggestions that benefit your company. To negotiate effectively, you'll need to know how to manage office politics. For instance, if you're trying to negotiate an issue that will affect another department, be sure to get that group's backing. The best negotiators do their homework at the issue at hand and listen to all points of view. They also know when to compromise. For example, you may not be able to implement a new financial software application this quarter, but you may be able to proceed after your company completes another major initiative 6 months from now. Leaders also need to know how to be able to effectively. This begins with establishing realistic goals. Before assigning work to an employee, take into account the time, skills, and resources required for success. Delegating is not about unloading an assignment on someone else, but rather seeking the assistance of that employee you're confident can successfully complete the task at hand. Delegation is the #1 time management technique for 38% of the executives we surveyed. Aside from the immediate advantage of creating a more manageable schedule, delegation of responsibilities is a key element in developing future managing talent. Once you've identified the best person for the job, meet with the employee to discuss your expectations. Do you want the regular progress reports along the way? Should the delegated tasks be a higher priority than the one's normal work responsibilities? Clarify how performance on the project will be evaluated. Then step back and let the employee manage the project. Serve as an advisor, but also encourage the individual to make key decisions. It will show you have the confidence in the person's abilities, which can boost his or her job satisfaction. Offer thanks. When an employee does a good job, take the time to let him or her know. This is particularly important when someone has made the extra effort to assist you with a difficult project or meet a very tight deadline. Establishing rapport and trust with your team is critical. In a recent survey by our company, executives said the greatest factor in employees' level of job satisfaction is a relationship with his or her manager. It's all right to have your own unique management style, but keep in mind that you must adapt to the individual needs and personalities of people on your team to maximize their contributions. Strategies and tactics that work with some members of your staff may not be as effective with others. While you may receive feedback from a few employees, you're likely to have to be proactive to find out which management techniques work best for each individual. Does one person prefer a high degree of autonomy while others prefer to work closer with supervision? Are regular meetings suitable for monitoring progress on projects, or informal discussions more efficient? Making suitable adjustments for your style can mean the difference between employees who simply meet expectations and employees who strive to make a real difference in their work. In addition to support from your staff during challenging times, today's accounting and finance departments are busier than ever, which can put employees at risk for burnout. Make sure people know they can come to you with demands. When they do, take their concerns seriously by collaborating with them on a strategy for managing the situation. For instance, you might reassign some projects to employees with lighter workloads, or might reassess an employee's daily schedule to improve time management. As a leader, you should stand up for your team. If a staff member has a great idea that can help the company improve customer service, for example, share that suggestion with senior management. Don't hesitate to offend the employee's ideas should there be any more questions or concerns. As a leader, you should also be able to make the effort to show appreciation for exceptional job performance. Verbal praise is a great starting point to achieve the best results. Consider developing a formal recognition program. Establish criteria and acknowledgement and customize rewards for each deserving honoree. Those who have already been managers, there are definitely ways you can contribute and think of ideas you have recognized your employees in the past. Make sure everyone is included in your recognition program. If you only acknowledge the contributions of accounting staff and exclude administrative professionals, this could create resentment from the team. Also, provide employees with opportunities to advance within the firm. By promoting from within, you'll demonstrate your staff that you recognize and reward their hard work. Now that you have an understanding of the skills required to be an effective leader, I'd like to discuss the ways you can position yourself as a leader. The following techniques can help you create visibility and increase your visibility within the organization. For example, volunteering for new assignments, pursuing additional education, seeking candid feedback, finding a mentor, becoming a leader outside the firm. Let's look at each of these responsibilities. Whether you aspire to become a manager or you're already in this role, volunteering for new assignments can increase your value to your employer. While you don't want to take on more responsibility than you can handle, look for ways to get involved in projects that expand your abilities, even if you only serve in a minor capacity. For instance, if you are working on a project team, you might offer to prepare the group's final report as a way to enhance your written communication skills. Taking initiative can help you stand out from others who wait for work to be assigned to them. Education should be a constant priority. To remain effective on the job and continue advancing your career, you must keep keeping your skills up to date. Even the most experienced leaders must invest time in education on a regular basis to stay sharp. New technologies are introduced, management practices evolve, business needs change. Often the best way to keep these developments and their impact on the job is through formal training. If you're hoping to move into a leadership role, classes and seminars can be a great way to develop necessary skills in such areas as management, communication, and negotiation. Investing time in education also demonstrates to your employer an interest in your professional growth. Seeking candid feedback from others on your leadership skills is also beneficial. Write down your strengths and weaknesses and ask trusted colleagues or advisors to do the same for you. Then compare notes. Often we perceive to be strengths or weaknesses can be viewed differently by others. For example, you might believe your sense of humor allows you to build a rapport with employees. However, your jokes maybe unintentionally send the wrong message to others. Take these situations lightly, therefore, and you're not serious about your job. Honest feedback will allow you to build relationships with leaders and identify your strengths and areas for improvement or adjustment. If you don't want to find a mentor who can advise you on what it takes to be a successful leader, you might want to. If your company doesn't offer a formal mentoring program, be proactive and contact a manager you admire to see if he or she will help you in this capacity. Be sure to have a clear idea of what you can get out of the relationship. For instance, you might want ongoing feedback on how to improve your interpersonal skills or to communicate effectively with executives. Finally, take advantage of leadership opportunities outside of your employer. Professional associations and social organizations, for instance, have a need for individuals to manage special projects. The activities of these groups don't have to be accounting-oriented or utilize the same skills you apply at work. Leading a team in almost any effort can give you additional insights to enhance your performance on the job. Serving in a management capacity outside of your workplace can provide a fresh perspective and new ideas for accomplishing certain tasks. Developing your leadership skills take time and practice. Perform an honest assessment of your abilities, strive to make improvements, and look for ways to position yourself as a leader at your company. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Does anybody have any questions after the presentation? It doesn't look like there's any questions, so I think we will sign off the presentation for now.
Thank you, Carlie.